It's now time for Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, live on the Woodward Sports Network. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m. Starring Ryan Ermanni, Michigan great and former NFL baller Braylon Edwards, and of course, Tom Mazawey. Let's talk some sports.
Let's talk some sports. It is Thursday, January 26, 2023. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com, fox2detroit.com, the Fox 2 News app. You can check us out live there on those platforms every day as well. Braylon Edwards, good afternoon to you, my friend.
What's up, brother?
You, baby.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling good today.
Good.
Feeling great today on a Thursday. Travel day for you,
Exactly.
I know.
Exactly. Excited, man. You know, my brother's out there in California. He's getting it in right now, 1-on-1, 7-on-7 Skelly reps, playing in the D3 All-Star game. The NFLPA All-Star game out there at the Rose Bowl this Saturday. I'm excited. You know, it's been a long ride with Bally. You know, we watched him go from sitting out his freshman year, not going to school, sitting out, redshirt. You heard the process. He gave you the process. So to see him get that opportunity, I'm excited. And it's LA. You know, LA definitely is beating this right now.
Braylon Edwards at the Rose Bowl doesn't get any better than that. Tom Mazawey, good afternoon to you, my friend.
Hey, fellas, happy Thursday. It's always my favorite day of the week. Friday Eve, call it, bowling night, and it stopped snowing, thank God. And let's talk some sports. Happy birthday to the greatest of the greats.
Dan Miller.
Gretzky.
Oh, Wayne Gretzky.
Dan Miller as well.
That wasn't a bad
Wayne
game.
Gretzky, 62 years young today.
That's amazing.
Amazing.
He's definitely the great one. I remember I had a chance to meet him actually when we were doing the show when we first started. I did the MGM outing. Me and
With
D-Mac.
Marky Mark.
Exactly.
Was it Marky Mark?
No, Mark Wahlberg. That was his past summer.
Yeah.
I'm all over the place, man. No, but I had a chance to work with him and see him for the first time and meet him. He definitely has that aura. Certain people have that aura around them. He's the great one for a reason. But just last thing about Bally, they're playing at the Rose Bowl. You know, your boy still holds the record. Most touchdowns in one Rose Bowl. It's 3.
Look at that.
I'm just saying. So it's good to go home. It's coming Saturday.
You own Pasadena.
Braylon Edwards owns
Individually
Pasadena.
I do, but as a team, not so much.
Hey, let me say hello to Fletch and JB as well. These two guys are a big part of the show each and every day. I don't get them involved enough on the air. So if you guys got anything ever you want to say, chime in, please. We love you guys. You're a big part of the show. I wanted to just give an acknowledgement today. It was a Darren Ravel tweet that jogged my memory. But 3 years ago today, January 26, 2020, Kobe Bryant, his daughter Gianna, and 7 others lost their lives in a helicopter crash that rocked the world, not the sports world, rocked the world. And it's just, it just left such an impact. I am so sad about this. And this was one of those days in your life that you remember exactly where you were when you found out the news. I was watching the Pro Bowl game. And it was an ABC News crawl. It wasn't like a break-in or anything. It was an ABC News crawl.
Yeah.
Kobe Bryant dies in a helicopter crash. And you're like, what? I had to read it again. I backed up the TV to see the crawl again. And then it just kept going and going and going and going. And I just couldn't believe it.
It gives me the chills.
It does. It was just incredible. So I know all you guys know where you were as well.
I'm glad you start off with and 7 others lost their lives, because when that happened, Maz, I know you're a huge fan of cancel culture. Obviously, I'm being sarcastic. People were so annoying when you would talk about, I can't believe Kobe and Gianna, and they said, what about the other 7 people? Yeah. What about the other 7 people? And I always said, listen, man, I feel sorry for those families as well. I didn't know those other 7 people. I didn't even, so whatever. So I'm glad you said that before we get in trouble. But for me, I was at a Jets event. It was a Jets fan event, so I was in New York. It was at the Mix, which is a ping pong spot, arcade, bar type deal. It was a cool look. And so I wake up in the morning. My sister comes to the hotel because she was at Seton Hall at the time. My youngest sister was at Seton Hall. So she comes to town so we can grab a quick breakfast brunch type deal before we go over to Spin. That's what the place was called. And everybody's down looking at their phone. And I'm like, this is New York. It's a million people. This is what they do. Everybody's looking down. But my boy Chip was like, nah, people walk straight. They use their AirPods. Everybody's looking down. Something's going on. And lo and behold, you look down and you see that Kobe died. And it was, for me, it was surreal because I went to the Jets event, and I don't think the people at the Jets event could really get into the emotion of Kobe because it's a Jets event. It's a fan experience. It's autograph. It's video game playing. But like that next day at the airport is when I really realized, like, like mom was gone. Like people were crying at the airport. Like it was a huge ordeal, Tom.
I was in the parking lot at St. Joan of Arc. I was taking Abby and her friend Jesse to practice. We were going to do an extra practice. I had the key to the gym. So we go into the gym, and I looked down, and before we went in, and I saw it, and I had to sit back down in the car. I let the girls in the gym. I'm like, I'll be right in. I had to go back in my car, and I put on the radio. I found it on Sirius, and I listened. And still to this day, I really don't accept that he's not here. Mm-hmm. Like, I believe he's not. To me, it sounds stupid, but he's not dead to me. There's a few people in my life that passed away that I don't believe are gone. I don't know what it is about them. I have a special bond with my Aunt Grace, my Aunt Lil. And for some reason, I just feel like I could pick up the phone and still call him. Kobe is like that to me. I don't know what it is about him, and I think maybe it's because I saw all those pictures of him and Gianna going to basketball games and hugging and loving on each other and laughing at each other. And, when the girl dad came out, Elle Duncan on ESPN came up with that girl dad, and being a girl dad and a brother to four sisters. That, I think, it made him extra special to me. Plus, what a phenomenal athlete. He's top 5 athletes of all time, if you ask me. He is that good, and a person. And he's getting into Hollywood, and he's freaking winning Emmys and freaking Oscars. And wow. That's all I got to say is, wow. I can't believe it's 3 years.
I think I can explain, Maz, and I'll try to do it after this. The big thing for me when Kobe died was, like, growing up, I was a Michael Jordan guy. Like, I'm Jordan. Like, Jordan's the greatest player of all time. So when Kobe came along, I had to stand firm on my Jordan. And then Kobe was this L.A., he was this cat, like, rubbed you the wrong way. So I never liked Kobe. Like, I never liked Kobe. And then when it was he versus Shaq, he said some things about Shaq publicly. Like, then I sided with Shaq over Kobe. So I never was Kobe. And then even in his greatness, 81 points and all those type deals, it was like, all right, the man can score, got some championships, but I didn't rock with Kobe. Then you find out he pillow talked to his wife about what Paul Gasol and other guys were doing on the team. So I really didn't like Kobe. Fast forward, when Kobe tore his Achilles, and he went out there and still shot those 2 free throws. And then you see him limp off the court. I was like, there's something different to this Kobe guy. So I start watching him a little bit more. He goes overseas, gets his, has some healing done, if you will, over in Israel, and he comes back. So I'm watching him. Now I'm starting to become a fan. Then the last game he played against the Suns? I think the last game he played against the Suns. Not the Suns.
When he had 60?
When he had 60. He go on. I don't care that he shot 40 shots. Man had 60. He shot horrible all year. Yeah. Like, he shot horrible all year long. Like, this would have been any other game.
That's why he retired.
If he would have been any other game that season, he could have shot that many shots. He still wouldn't have had 60. But he had 60. He was making it happen. And you just see, like, the Mamba mentality. And then you start reading about Mamba mentality. And then you start to see his like Maz hinted to, his next phase of life. Mm-hmm. You see him with the WNBA. You see him with the NCAA talking about women's basketball. He was about to be very instrumental in getting them the pay they deserve, getting them the commercials they deserve, blah, blah, blah. Then he was also the mentor to a lot of young athletes, a lot of young basketball players. They talk about him. And you just see that this guy's life was going. He was opening up. He was going in his next phase. He was girl dad. Like, it was like, this man was going to be amazing. That's why I'm mad that it took me so long to come around. But I think for you, the reason why you think he's still here, he touched so many people. And there's so many cats that are still talking about Mama, whether it's KD, whether it's Kyrie Irving, a lot of Giannis Antetokounmpo, whether it's Jason Tatum. He mentored all these guys, and after he died, Giannis wins the championship. Giannis wins the MVP. Kyrie wins the championship. Jason Tatum Jason Tatum almost won a championship last year, in the running for MVP. So I think he's still around, and these players, his daughters, his wife, and the community and the culture.
He's larger than life. That's just larger than life.
How we feel about Michael Jordan, like that's 80% of the NBA, it's Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, it's true.
Like the 80% of the players, maybe even more than that, who are currently playing in the NBA, grew up idolizing.
I say 70-30. It's 70 Kobe, 30 LeBron.
And wanted to be Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I think he could have been probably a commissioner of the NBA one day if he wanted to do that. That's how big he is. Yeah. He's way above the game. Way above.
And really, I think one of the reasons, because, after, Kobe's playing days, there was a little lull there. And it was the part about him being a dad, like a father, a husband, that I think so many people gravitated towards. So on this day, I just wanted to acknowledge Kobe Bryant. We miss him so much, and Gianna. And, of course, 7 others who, we always mention 7 others. They have names and families and legacies and everything like that too. So I just wanted to acknowledge them as well.
So the people in Roberto Clemente's playing, and Big Bopper's playing, Buddy Holly's playing. You go on and on and on. There are other people that have passed away, but the people that is who we're talking about. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Very true.
So again, wanted to make mention of that. Braylon, a big show for you today. We'll talk to Dave Birkett from the Detroit Free Press, get you caught up on all things Lions. There were some really exciting things that have happened today as well locally at Ford Field in Detroit regarding the USFL. We will get to that. NFL news today, breaking news today. We'll get to some coaching news as well. Is Aaron Rodgers on the move? We'll talk about that next. But first, a message from SMA.
The sports marketing agency spreads awareness about mental health as well as substance use disorder. Their podcast, this is the S Word. And the S Word is for stigma because we, as well as the NFL Alumni Association, Sean George, trying to destigmatize mental health. Look, it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to go through things. It's okay to be mentally dependent. It's okay. But when that happens, where do you go to get the information? When that happens, how do you get better? How do you get to the next step? Well, you go to thesportsma.com. They will teach you, tell you, and understand you on how to deal with these things, substance abuse and mental illness.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
When it comes to making your haircut truly an experience, there's no better place than Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Come to any one of our 26 Metro Detroit locations for an award-winning haircut experience and qualify for a chance to win a down payment for your dream home up to $200,000. Our precision haircut and talented stylists will have you looking good, feeling good, and give you a chance to change your life forever. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Hey, it's Maz for CousinsMainLobster.com. Get on that website right now.
Get on it.
Download their app. I'm going to promise you this. If you can get anywhere near their truck, you're going to have the most delicious lunch or dinner experience that you want to have. They're going to be here again next week over here by us. So we're going to have a little taste of that. Maybe we'll let you guys know. Maybe you can sneak on over and taste it for yourself. CousinsMainLobster.com is the place. Fresh lobster. It's like you're at Maine, except you're here in Detroit. By the way, happy birthday to Detroit. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. But CousinsMainLobster.com for all of your delicacies right here in Detroit. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you.
All right, there's actual real breaking news, and then there's speculative news. So we're going to start with the actual real breaking news, and that is that the Carolina Panthers have hired former Colts head coach Frank Reich to be their new head coach.
Wow.
That announcement made just minutes ago.
Poor Steve Wilkes.
Well, I got to tell you, when I first heard this morning that it was down to Wilkes and Reich,
You know it's over.
I actually, and maybe this is my naivete, maybe this is me just thinking the guy that earned the job should have gotten the job, but I was like, oh, this is a layup. Those players want Wilks, it's Wilks. And Frank Reich, to me, guys, I like Frank Reich a lot, but he did not earn another coaching job. He just didn't earn it. You can say what you want about him, but he got his quarterback, hand-picked quarterback in Indianapolis, and the thing not only went south, it went south quick to the point where the head coach, or excuse me, the owner, had to hire a broadcaster, essentially, to come try to save the thing. That's how far south that franchise went. So I don't know what goes on in the NFL, but Frank Reich knows a lot about football. There's no doubt about it. He's a great man. He's done it before, but he just did not earn another job to me, in my opinion.
Yeah, see, this is why, when you had talking about hiring coaches, they're behind the 8 ball in the NFL hiring coaches. Steve Wilks, look what he did there. Look how his team responded to him. He put his team in a position to win the NFC South last year. A bad team. I'm talking about how many quarterbacks did they go through last year?
Trading away their best player in Christian McCaffrey.
Traded him away.
Right?
You had Sam. What's Sam? His name from the New York Jets. Sam Hubbard. Sam.
The defensive player.
No, the quarterback.
Oh,
Darnold.
Yeah,
Sam Darnold.
Sam
sorry.
Darnold. Baker Mayfield. You have 4 or 5 quarterbacks this year with that team. He still managed to put that team in space to compete. You should have known when it got down this far that they weren't going to choose him over Frank Reich. Frank Reich has a name. Frank Reich had how many quarterbacks with the Colts and couldn't have done? Frank Reich's a good dude. What Frank Reich did with Carson Wentz when he was in Philadelphia and Doug Peterson. It's a great job.
Won a Super Bowl.
That's why their buddies understood. Doug Peterson won a Super Bowl. Frank Reich was a great quarterbacks coach. You saw what he did in the Colts for 5 years or 4 years. Right. You saw what he did under these quarterbacks. You saw what happened 100%. You saw what Steve Wilks did. You saw how he got ousted very fastly with the Arizona Cardinals. You saw what he did right there with Carolina Panthers. None of that mattered. They still hired Frank Reich. They just cannot seem to get it right in the NFL for whatever reason. I'm not saying Frank Reich can't be a good coach, but I'm saying right now in that particular situation, Steve Wilks won me over Frank Reich. I don't know how they went with Reich over Wilks in this particular situation.
By the way, JB sent me over a good tweet from the 33rd team. Guess who threw the first touchdown pass in Panthers history?
Frank Reich.
Yeah. So it comes full circle for him. Yeah. There he is. Congrats to him. Steve Wilks will land somewhere, and we'll see if he gets another shot.
We always say that, but will he? But will Steve Wilks land on the other side?
He only got 1 year in Arizona, and he got a half a year here in Carolina.
And did well, did some things well. So it was like, is he gonna find another job? Like, will he land on his feet?
Bet you he could become an OC or DC, and then go from there again.
This is
you don't get too many chances.
This is kind of out of the realm with where the NFL is going, though. Just not only that Frank Reich, obviously offensive coach, but 61 years old.
Yeah.
Not to say that that's like a dinosaur or anything like that, but in today's NFL, it's a bit of a dinosaur. 61-year-old head coach. I mean, he's not Dick Vermeil.
Like, you look at the guys, who are the old coaches in the NFL?
Bill Belichick?
I'm trying. Okay, Andy Reid, correct? I'm trying to make a point. You see where I'm going with the point I'm making. Like, the older coaches in the NFL, the ones that are still left, they have Super Bowl cash. Pete Carroll won a Super Bowl. Andy Reid won a Super Bowl.
Carroll's the oldest coach.
Exactly, Super Bowl winner. Been to 3 actually. Super Bowl winner, Andy Reid. Super Bowl winner and all-time winner. Belichick. Like, the guys that are in the league that are that old, they're Super Bowl winning coaches, so they're grandfathered in.
Yeah.
Frank Reich, no disrespect. Like, as a man, this isn't about you as a man, it's about you as a coach. You haven't earned the right to beat out a guy like Steve Wilks for a job at 61 in this NFL. That's just my thought.
Well, it looks like he impressed the hell out of the owner, David Tepper.
Or they were scared to fully pull the trigger on Steve Wilks, like the unproven black man.
Here you go, ready? Pete Carroll, 70. Bill Belichick, 70. Andy Reid, 64. So there's a drop-off there. Andy Reid, 64. Frank Reich, 61. Ron Rivera, 61. John Harbaugh, 59. Mike McCarthy, 58. So
Super Bowl, and one's been to a Super Bowl. Everybody you name has won a Super Bowl except one.
Basically, you got a handful of coaches over the age of 60 or older.
What do they have in common?
They won.
Yeah.
You know?
Even Ron Rivera, he went to the Super Bowl and lost. Cam Newton and against Denver Broncos.
Yeah. It's just not the direction that the NFL is going right now. I'm literally shocked by that. And so you take Carolina off the board. You look at some of the other openings now. Arizona still has an opening. The Colts still have an opening.
I think Saturday's getting that gig.
Houston has an opening. Saturday is getting that gig.
Yeah.
I think Jim Irsay wants to hire Jeff Saturday.
So he can prove himself that he was right. Hey, I like the direction of what this team is going. That's why I gave him the opportunity. I like what he's doing. Blah, blah, blah. And I got the number 4 pick coming up. I'm going to get my quarterback.
I saw a tweet today from one of the major sports publications about where they expect different coaches to go. And I did see, and I hate to make it a black and white thing, but you can't not look at these coaching situations and not include that element of where these openings are going. The NFL every year says, I'm sorry, we did it wrong, we're getting it wrong, we're trying to get it right, but then at the same time, there's no movement there. Now, one of the teams, Arizona, was Brian Flores. That was who they expected to get that job there. Now, I sit here and say, if you wanted to hire Brian Flores, he's been done for the last month.
Very true.
He's been done for the last month. If that's your guy, go get him. Nobody's going to have an argument there.
Yeah.
You know,
You really think he's going to get another gig?
I don't know, but
He's got a lawsuit against the NFL.
Yeah, D'Amico Ryans, where's the fit for him?
He's the hot name.
He's
now.
the hot name, but everybody's the hot name. Eric Bieniemy now, I do think if Andy Reid wins the Super Bowl, he's done, and Bieniemy gets that job. I think that. I could be totally wrong. But Bieniemy, I believe Carolina or Indianapolis, one of those head coaching openings, Bray, was his 15th head coaching interview. The last one he went on was his 15th head coaching interview.
He's got to be really good at him now.
Now,
or really bad.
Yeah.
now
really bad.
is he being downgraded because Patrick Mahomes is his quarterback? And that's where you hear now, like, all these things about if he doesn't get a head coaching job, he's going to have to go be the OC somewhere else that doesn't have Patrick Mahomes. I don't know. It's just an interesting thing because last year there were 9 openings. Yeah. This year there's now 4.
Be careful with that quarterback deal. Like, be careful with for those people like, he has Patrick Mahomes. Be careful. You saw what happened with Brian Daboll and Josh Allen.
Everybody's trying to make an excuse as to why he didn't get a job.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about them. I'm like, be careful with that. Yeah, be careful. But to your point, yeah, we assume that Eric Bieniemy is waiting in the wings for Andy Reid to release the reins off that job, and if he wins, you're right. This could be it. He could be hanging it up, putting on his Paradise, or what is it, the Bahama Breeze shirt, the Tommy Bahama shirt with the burgers. Like that's probably what he's in line for. Let's take black and white out of it and let's go back to the situation. Let's approach it as this. At the end of the day, from what we saw to Frank Reich with the Indianapolis Colts over the past 4 years, to me it was not good enough to get the job down there with the Carolina Panthers. Period. Over what Steve Wilkes did this particular year with that team where they pretty much were abomination. They got rid of everybody and they dogged everybody that played quarterback out for them. I mean, remember the wide receiver? Remember that whole deal? That plays for the Robbie Anderson. Remember, I don't want him. Then he comes there and then there was a whole deal with him. He takes his helmet off. So he's dealt with a lot. It kind of reminds me of the Rich Bisaccia situation.
He shipped them out.
Reminds me of the Rich Bisaccia situation last year where he dealt with a lot, got that team, still made the playoffs, and then they chipped him out at the end of the season, actually sent him to Green Bay. So much like that, Steve Wilkes deserved that job over Frank Reich. If you're looking at the X's
absolutely. Agree 100%.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. Just wanted to make mention of that. Now I want to get to something that
the real story.
The real story of the day, and that is Nathaniel Hackett. Now, the Denver Broncos tried to do this last year. Nathaniel Hackett was hired as head coach of the Denver Broncos because I believe they thought he could bring Aaron Rodgers with him.
That's a fact.
Well, the New York Football Jets have now hired Broncos coach Nathaniel Hackett to be their offensive coordinator, per Tom Pelissero. Hackett previously called plays in Buffalo and Jacksonville, where he worked with Robert Saleh and was widely revered during his tenure as Green Bay Packers offensive coordinator. A big hire, says Tom Pelissero. So, Tom Mazawey, let me start with you. You think this is happening, Aaron Rodgers to the Jets?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I dug up a picture of him already in his Jets uniform. There it is. If you'd like to take a look at it. Here's what I'm going to say. The other day I put something in my Around the NFL, and I didn't get to it. And I'm glad I didn't get to it because I'd like to get to it today. He was on Pat McAfee last week, and they asked him about the Jets and Zach Wilson. And Brian, would you do the honors of reading his quote on the Jets and Zach Wilson, please?
Loves the Jets. Here you go. Ready?
Yeah, let's hear it.
I think he's super talented. I think a little humility is good for us all at various times in our careers. I think the first year they literally had no players. They came to practice against us, and I was like, the defense can play and the offense needs some more players. They added a young receiver from Ohio State, is it? And got a tight end from the Bengals, I believe.
Yes.
They picked a running back who was pretty damn good last year.
Yes.
For Wilson,
Would you ask?
it's going to be humility. Just lean into that and be consistently working on the fundamentals.
Yes.
I think he's so talented, but the best in the business can make all the plays outside the pocket. Can he move around?
Uh-huh.
But fundamentally inside the pocket, that's where you beat teams. I hope that whoever they decided to go with at coordinator can work with him and kind of break down a lot of fundamentals for him and get him playing on time. I think he's talented enough to have a long career in the league.
Okay, that's his take on the Jets and Zach Wilson. Aaron Rodgers is pulling a Brett Favre. He is going to be a Jet. I don't know when it's going to happen, but it will happen. And Zach Wilson will sit behind him. Mike White, maybe they trade him and get something for Mike White. How about you, Lions? Take Mike White and let's make him the backup. But that's beside the point. This is happening. He will be a Jet. And the owner, Woody Johnson, said, I will give whatever it takes to get a true starting quarterback here. It's going to cost 2 number ones. The Jets have that. And would do that in a New York minute. You get 2 to 3 years out of Aaron Rodgers. Zach Wilson sits behind him. It's nothing but good. Yes, it is in the AFC, and they're probably not going to win a Super Bowl right away. But even Joe Namath said, you can unretire by number 12 if Aaron Rodgers comes home to New York. It's not home, but it's my home.
So
there it is.
Probably the biggest Jets fan nationally on the national sports scene is, of course, Mike Greenberg, right?
Yes,
Brady from ESPN. So he tweets out a picture of Aaron Rodgers in the New York Jets uniform, and he says, is it too late for me not to get my hopes up? I'm connecting the dots. I'm speaking this into existence. Aaron Rodgers, please let this happen. Braylon, do you believe?
Yeah, big time.
Do you believe this can be spoken into existence?
No.
Oh, shut up! Come on, man.
Listen, I'm a Jet.
Come on.
I would love for this to happen. Don't use the Nathaniel Hackett thing. The thing with Nathaniel
This
Hackett,
is extra.
Exactly. You think about it like this for Nathaniel Hackett as relates to the Jets. They need an offensive coordinator. Nathaniel Hackett is a good offensive coordinator. Aaron Rodgers has talked about that on many occasions. So him coming to the Jets, they were going to pluck that regardless. It's like, hey, we need an offensive coordinator, a good one. And oh, by the way, he also could bring blah, blah, blah. So that's why Nathaniel Hackett's there. 2, you mean to tell me that Aaron Rodgers is going to leave his team, the Green Bay Packers? He's going to go to the hardest conference, which is now the AFC, and he's going to go to the team with the 32nd ranked offensive line? I'm going to leave my team at 39 years old. He'll be 40 this year. We're the same age. Mm-hmm. He's going to go to the 32nd ranked offensive line. And yes, they have a damn good running back, Breece Hall. But as Maz once told me, he's coming off an injury. I don't know if I can trust him to be the same guy he was last year. I don't know if I can trust Breece Hall to be that same guy.
That's why they're going to draft the guy that you guys like.
No, they're not going to draft Bijan Robinson because there's 2 first-round running backs in the last year. The way I look at it is this. Is it a good fit in hypothetical world? Yeah, if you get some good offensive linemen, Nathaniel Hackett, you bring him in there, you get Zach Wilson, get a chance to sit up under Aaron Rodgers. Like, in make-believe land, this all sounds well. I just can't believe that a 40-year-old quarterback is going to a team that has the 32nd best offensive line in the NFL. Sometimes it's not even about going past, like, the things that make sense. Let's just stop at what makes sense. I'm 40, and I'm going to sign up with the 32nd rated offensive line in the NFL. No, thank you.
Did you see who Mel Kiper had him mocked with? Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Oh, wow.
Man, Garrett Wilson and Jackson Smith and Jigba.
God.
I mean, come on, man.
If I'm them, they need to get it. They need to line. They need to get Skoronski from Northwestern.
Oh my God.
Pick 7 right now.
Free agents, baby.
Hey guys,
free agents.
It's true. They can go get Evan Brown.
Free agents.
They can go get Evan Brown.
AP NFL awards came out yesterday, the nominees anyway. Dan Campbell was left off the Coach of the Year award nominees. Did he deserve to be in there? We'll talk about that. Thanks for breaking the tease there, Maz. Appreciate that. But first, a message from the Folding Warehouse.
That's only his opinion, though.
Yeah.
That's only his opinion.
Folding Warehouse, that's right. Even Dan Campbell loves the Folding Warehouse. Everyone loves the Folding Warehouse. Down in Hamtramck, 2 ways to play that game. $12 unlimited open play or a private lane reservation. 10 or 12 of your good friends or people you don't even like. Have them all on one lane. 2 hours, run you $120. That's less than $10 per person. How about that? Any drink you want as well. They got multiple full bars and a great beer menu. Over 100 beers they offer. And the $2 mystery beer machine. How about it? Bring your own food or have it delivered. Get your fold on at foldingwarehouse.com.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh, wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Kroger's, and if you want to know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
As chilly weather approaches, Big Boy's got the perfect comfort meals for you. Try our hearty classic meatloaf or our creamy Cajun chicken Alfredo. These will be sure to leave you craving for more. How about breakfast? Our stuffed potato pancakes are back with our lumberjack, blockbuster, and Santa Fe Garden. These potato pancakes will definitely fill you up. Whether it's for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, come stock up on the perfect comfort meal today. We'll see you soon at Big Boy.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Planet Fitness is the official studio sponsor of Woodward Sports, but it's also home to the Judgment Free Zone, where you can work out in a non-intimidating, judgment-free atmosphere for just $10 a month.
Only $10?
Yes, only $10. Or do yourself a favor, upgrade to the Black Card with unlimited guest privileges, the hydro massage, and so much more in-club. Join in-club today, or you can always check them out at planetfitness.com.
Hey guys, welcome back. WoodwardSports.com. Ryan Ermanni, Tom Mazawey, Braylon Edwards. I'm having a whole conversation in my head. You're only getting 25% of it.
How you doing, buddy?
Sorry about that, Bray. I got a million things I'm working on over here.
It's okay, brother. It's all right, brother.
Well, let me come to you first, Braylon Edwards.
You better. I only got a couple more minutes here anyway.
Right, he's out of here pretty soon. Dan Campbell not included in Coach of the Year awards. Brian Dable, Sean McDermott, Doug Peterson, Kyle Shanahan, and Nick Sirianni are in there. I think Dan Campbell should be in this list, and I think he should replace Sean McDermott. I don't believe McDermott should be on this list. What say you? Where are you on this?
This is tough. This is a tough year. So what I would say to you first and foremost, Sean McDermott does not deserve to be on this list. I agree with you. For what that team has, for what that team has built, no pun intended. You know, many people picked this team to win the Super Bowl at the start of the season. Many people predicted Josh Allen to be MVP. So for what he did, he had a very iffy and spotty year all year long. So he doesn't deserve to be on here. But if you take him off, there's still 3 other people that can replace him. So that's why it's kind of hard doing a snub. You look at the list, everybody deserves to be on that list. You take Sean McDermott out, you can replace him with Dan Campbell, or you can replace him with a guy who let go of a guy who many thought people would be the end of the franchise. If this guy left, it would be a complete rebuild. And Pete Carroll and the Seattle Seahawks. Look at what they did.
Great point.
Oh, and by the way, they made the playoffs. They beat Dan Campbell. Pete Carroll's name isn't on this list. What he did with Geno Smith, what he did with that young team, those were all draft picks on both sides for the most part. Look at K9, hell of a draft pick by him. Or if you don't want to put Pete Carroll on that and you don't want to put Dan Campbell on there, what about a guy who last year almost faced his first under 500 season, but at the end got the most out of Kenny Pickett and somehow, some way almost made the playoffs and finished 9-8, and that's Mike Tomlin. Yet again, Mike Tomlin.
Another one.
He dodges having a losing record, gets that team to 9-8, and now you're looking at them to be a team on the horizon coming up next year with Kenny Pickett. So it's just a tough year. You want to see him in there, but it's a tough year because one of those guys made the playoffs. Another one of those guys didn't have an under 500 record. So it's tough. I think the guys that deserve to be on there are the guys on the list. I don't think you need to add a name because if you add one of these, you can argue you got to add the other 2.
Is Kevin O'Connell on there?
No, he is not on there.
They won 13 games.
They did.
And he's a first-year coach.
First-year coach.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
well, listen to me. I don't care about any of these guys. Dan Campbell should be on that list by far, bar none. I don't give a damn if you have to add him on, if he's the 7th guy on there. Because let's just if he was in the audience when they're doing these awards and they announce each one, I bet you he'd get the biggest, loudest ovation because he put the Lions on the map. Yes, the Detroit Lions 8-2 down the stretch, and as dangerous as any team in the playoffs had they gotten in. He deserves to be on that list, going from 3 wins to 9 wins, and could have been a lot more than that. He belongs on that list. Whether he wins or not, I don't care.
Right.
He belongs on that list.
Here's the pushback on that one. 1, Pete Carroll made the playoffs. Dan Campbell didn't. Pete Carroll beat Dan Campbell. 2, you can argue that Dan Campbell went 1-6 in the first 7 games and put himself in a position to have to play like that. So are you rewarding him for basically making up for how bad he coached in the first half of the year? Like, that's the other side.
Well, he didn't. It wasn't all him. The defense was pathetic.
It wasn't.
He kind of coached the team up.
He's 1-6. Who gets the blame? Just like you giving him the blame for 8-2, 1-6. He gets the blame as well.
I got you.
So I totally hear what you're saying, Braylon, and I think the argument against Dan Campbell, you could use the 1-6 against him. You could use the 1-6 for him,
which means it nullifies.
Because the Lions were a tiebreaker away from becoming the first team since 1970. That's 52 years to make the playoffs after starting a season 1-6. Nobody has ever done that in over 5 decades,
including Dan Campbell, because it didn't happen.
It was a tiebreaker away, and yes, it did not happen. But ultimately, they lost on a tiebreaker. And perhaps there was no team hotter at the end of the season than the Detroit Lions. So I do think there's a lot of admiration in being able to get your guys. You've been in the NFL. When it's going bad, when it starts off bad, it usually snowballs. It doesn't get better. I mean, there are very few instances where you just automatically have a total flip of the season like that. But another name that I think is left off here, another great coaching job, is a guy that's still coaching, and that's Zach Taylor with Cincinnati Bengals.
There you go.
Now, he's got a nice team. They went to the Super Bowl last year and lost. Maybe should have won it last year. But this is a guy who ended the season with 8 straight wins. And he's done a great job.
And he's not on there.
Yeah, and he's not on there. So there are worthy coaches in the NFL to be on this. This is a very difficult award. Now, that being said, I agree with this. I don't think Sean McDermott should be on there. Now, I'm not in the camp of you should fire Sean McDermott or anything like that. I'm not in that camp. But
So who wins it?
I think there's only two.
Who's the winner?
I think there's only one.
I think it's Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah.
Or Brian Daboll, to be honest with you.
I think Kyle Shanahan, and the reason why I think Kyle Shanahan is I've never, ever, ever heard of a team as dominant, heard of a team as trusted, heard of a team as respected, heard of a team, and thinking how they started out this year at quarterback. Like, just think about the quarterback carousel that has been the 49ers. Going into the preseason, was it going to be Trey Lance? Was it going to be Jimmy Garoppolo? Now it's Trey Lance. Well, they don't like Trey Lance. Trey Lance gets hurt. Oh, by the way, we paid Jimmy just to make sure we had some insurance policy, and now it's working out perfect. We got Jimmy in there. Oh, shoot, Jimmy's going down. Now we got to go our third. What he's done with that team and that quarterback carousel all year, and now you got Brock Purdy, the last pick in this year's draft, mind you, and people still have you as the odds-on favorite to win the Super Bowl, to win the NFC. Kyle Shanahan should be number one on there.
One guy who is on that list, one Lion who is on a list, is Aidan Hutchinson, up for Defensive Rookie of the Year. Now, he probably won't win it, and he probably doesn't deserve to win it, but at the same time, just being in that situation, I think is a really great thing. When you are taking number 2 overall, you want your player to perform. He did perform. It took him a little while to get going, but he did get going. And this is a great list to be a part of.
He got better as the year went on.
Sauce Gardner and Tariq Woolen. My goodness, that's a really good list. I expect Sauce to win it for sure, but just to be nominated, I think is a real win.
It's a hell of a list. I think it's a win for him. It's also a win for the Detroit Lions organization. It's a win for the Detroit Lions fan base. Like, you wanted Aidan Hutchinson to be the pick. You wanted Aidan Hutchinson to work. You started off a little rocky. You're waiting for him to come. You're waiting for him to get out of the shell. You're waiting for him to get out of the blocks. And finally, once he got out of the blocks, I don't really think he ever stopped, especially after he caught on. Maybe week 8. About week 8 is when he really took off, where he really blossomed. Great year by him. But the New York Jets finished with a top 7 defense. They were nowhere near the top 7 last year before Sauce Gardner got there. You look at how many yards Sauce Gardner gave up this year, it's under 100. You look at how many touchdowns he gave up, it's under 2. It's under 2. He gave up the one double move, I want to say, to Stephon Diggs early on in the year, and that was it. He locked guys down. Now, he didn't do all of that defense on his own, but for the better half of the year, and you saw your own Detroit Lions, when they played against the New York Jets, I was at that game. Whatever side of the field Sauce Gardner was on, Jared Goff wasn't even looking that way. When you have that amount of control over what an offense is going to do in this league that is led by offense, points, quarterback. When you get a guy who makes a quarterback not even look to his left, there's your answer right there.
Hey, first team All-Pro, first time in 41 years a rookie did that.
Yeah.
So he's hands down the winner, and Hutch is going to be number 2. Great year by both those guys.
And that's the thing. Can I say this, Ryan? You say this all the time. To build one guy up, you got to knock another guy down. Mm-hmm. This isn't knocking down Aidan Hutchinson. Aidan Hutchinson had an amazing year. He surprised me, surprised a lot of other people, and I think he's going to keep surprising people. So if you're a Lions fan, if you're the franchise, and if you're Aidan and his family, you're damn excited with this year you had, but you're damn excited for what's on the horizon, what's going to happen next year. Great year by him. Just like Matt said, though, Sauce did something that hasn't been done in 42 years. I mean, you can't argue with that.
Hey, fair to say, just to circle back here to Detroit, fair to say that Jacksonville, Detroit, and the New York Giants, who all took the same position, are all thrilled with the player that they got.
Hell yeah.
All 3 organizations are thrilled with the player they got. That's a pretty darn good pool of players there. Kayvon Thibodeau, Aidan Hutchinson, and Trayvon Walker. Thank you very much. Guys, we're going to talk to Dave Birkett, hopefully.
Hey man, we've been pretty good lately.
3 days in a row.
But first, a message from Les Stanford.
Hang on, Dave.
Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC. Les Stanford has expanded into Ferndale, a trusted name for over 50 years. Les Stanford Buick GMC. Same great service that customers have come to know. Go check them out on Woodward, just south of 9 Mile. And of course, looking for a Chevy or Cadillac, Les Stanford in Dearborn on Michigan Avenue. Been there for over 50 years, servicing customers. Find the brand you want under one umbrella. LesStanford.com. LesStanford.com.
Find new roads.
Find them.
I love Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
At Alta.
Uptime, it matters.
Uptime matters on Alta Equipment. They got everything you need to get the job done. If you have a big project coming up, why not give Alta Rental a call? They've got you covered. Give them a call today at 844-GO-TO-ALTA. That's 844-GO-TO-ALTA.
Hey guys, welcome back. WoodwardSports.com, Fox2Detroit.com. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey, Fletch, JB. Let's bring him in. He is the Lions beat writer for Freak.com. You can follow him on Twitter at Dave Birkett. The great Dave Birkett joining us now on the phone. How you doing, Dave?
It's a January miracle. I can hear you.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Thanks, Dave.
Right, thanks for the time, my man.
Somebody must have been hiding the button somewhere and they brought it back.
Dave, great piece on James Houston today on Freak.com. I want to get to that in just 1 second. But we sit here and we talk about the Lions and the draft and the free agents and all this stuff. If you had to say today a fair number that you believe the Lions need starters at how many positions? Do they need starters at 5 positions? Do they need starters at 3 positions? What would you say, looking at their roster, where they have to get X number of starters for 2023?
Are we including
free agency? Yes.
Replacing the guys that are free agents?
Yep.
All right. I would say you need one at running back. I mean, Jamal Williams is a free agent. Right guard. DJ Chark is a free agent. I think J-Mo's going to be really good, but you don't know yet, right? So maybe that's a little bit lower on the list, but you need to have some insurance there just in case. Then defensively, man, there's probably a few spots, probably at least one cornerback spot, at least one safety spot, just given the injuries that they've had at those positions. And let's say a linebacker, Alex Anzalone, is a free agent. So I would say let's start with 5, and you could probably throw a defensive tackle in the mix as well. So let's call it 6.
Dave Birkett, people are saying a lot of different things. I've heard anywhere from move from 6 to 4. I've heard take 6 and move back to 9. I've heard trade 18. I've heard a ton of different things. I've heard take offense. I've heard take defense, go defense, go offense, defense. We're going to hear a ton of different things. Am I not right? Am I not right? This is one thing that I think has to be a constant, and this needs to be a for sure. I just want to know if you agree with me. At 6, I got to get interior defensive lineman. If you want to take one of those guys like Myles Murphy, or you want to take one of those guys like T. Wilson that can go in and out, I'm cool with that. But 6, everything else, I'll see Brad Holmes, genius, and I'll trust it to him. 6 got to be a defensive lineman. What say you, Dave Birkett?
Well, yeah, I think you're right. That's probably how it'll shake out. I mean, look, it's super early, to really know exactly how these guys are going to stack up on draft boards, but that's the way the strength of the class appears right now is a defensive lineman in the top 10. And I don't think the Lions are done at that position. I think that would be a wise move, especially given the way that Brad Holmes wants to build this roster. We've talked before, Bray, Brad wants to build a monster, to use his own words, right? That's what he said they did in L.A. with the Rams when they took Michael Brockers and Robert Quinn and Aaron Donald, basically back-to-back drafts. That's what they tried to do on the offensive line, and I think that's the intention on the defensive line as well. So I don't think that's the most pressing need, but if they could find a 3-tech that could rush, depending on what they do in free agency, like that would just complete this, maybe not complete, but that would make this defense extremely scary with Aaron Glenn calling plays.
Hey, Dave, let's stick with the free agents the Lions have. Of the ones that are here, you got Jerome, you got
Jamal,
you got John Kaminsky, quite a few others,
Bugs.
Anzalone. Who are you signing for sure here?
You know, I did a little ranking last week of sort of, you know, the Lions, the 15 free agents, and it wasn't necessarily like in order of who I would re-sign, who I would prioritize. But I do think there's, you know, it sort of falls along those lines. I mean, John Kaminsky is definitely a guy that I would bring back for the money. You know, he was extremely valuable to what they did defensively, and his ability to play inside and out, and sort of, play off Aidan Hutchinson and help him out. I think he was extremely important. You know, I'd try to bring back Isaiah Buggs. Same thing, just for the money, a run-stopping defensive tackle, nose tackle. You still need an interior pass rusher, but I think Buggs has some value for what he does. Look, I don't know what the money's going to be for Jamal Williams. I mean, I think certainly he's a valuable piece both on the field and in the locker room. But running back's a spot that I wouldn't overspend at, and I do think that's a spot the Lions could draft at. So he might rank a tick down that list. And look, if the money was right for Chark, I'd bring him back too. I think the one thing that the Lions and Brad Holmes have really done a good job of in free agency, because they've they haven't done a whole lot, but they haven't anchored themselves to any big contracts, and that's important. I think in free agency, you can sign guys to 1 year, even 2 years. You're not getting bogged down for what you want to do in the future. You're not tying up playing time for young guys. I think you want to bring a couple of those defensive players back, and then if you can have add a skill guy like a Chark, or add a role player like a Josh Woods on special teams, I think those guys would be important to bring back too.
Dave Birkett joins us, Detroit Free Press, Lions Beat. Okay, man, just your opinion only. Will they finally draft a quarterback in this draft?
My opinion on will they, not high. I don't even know if they'll do it late. I think they seem to be rolling with Jared Goff here, and he had a really good season, and I certainly get that. Me, Maz, I'm on the maybe like the always quarterback train.
Yeah.
You're Patrick Mahomes, but the reality is all those really, really good quarterbacks are in the AFC right now.
Yeah.
It's Mahomes and Burrow and Josh Allen, and throw Trevor Lawrence trending at least in the mix, Justin Herbert. So. I don't know that you can run that gauntlet in the AFC and make the Super Bowl unless you have one of those guys. And I think in the NFC, you can. You don't need a Mahomes to get through it in the NFC, right? Because, Jalen Hurts is probably the best quarterback in the NFC right now.
Yep.
Who's after that? So I think I don't think the Lions need a quarterback. If I was the Lions picking 6, I would still do I would turn over every rock and stone I could on these quarterbacks to see if one of those guys was my guy. And I don't know about the, drafting one late. At least in the mid rounds, I think I would rather, as good as Brad Holmes has drafted in those rounds, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Kirby Joseph, some of these starters that he's got. I don't know that I would spend a 3rd round pick, 4th round pick on a guy that you hope doesn't play and that you're going to need to replace eventually.
You got it.
Dave Birkett, here's a question for. Actually, I agree with you on Bug, Skipper, Chark, Williams. I think they listed his price point right now is $4 million. I think that's doable over a 2-year period. Not to mention the Detroit Lions let Jamal Williams be Jamal Williams. We can all say that. So I think he's found a homer. So I think those two sides will be willing to work together to keep him here. But here's a guy. Here's the thing that keeps coming up. I also from Jalen Ramsey. Is he still worth a 1st rounder? Is 1, and 2. If he is, would you give up 18 for Jalen Ramsey? Deep breath on that one, right?
Well, look, you talk about Jamal right at $4 million and being a culture fit here, right, and being that sort of guy, like, being his own personality and a leader and all that. Like, that's, he is in a lot of ways what the Lions want. And I don't know that Jalen Ramsey is, just from afar. I don't know what he's like up close, obviously, but knowing some of the problems that he caused in Jacksonville, I wonder how that would fit in the Lions locker room. So, and without having studied his tape, I know people have said, that maybe his play took a step back this season. He's still one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL. The Lions have an extremely, glaring need for help at cornerback. But I think if I was building this team, I would rather keep my draft picks, sign someone in free agency if I could. That way I'm sort of getting the best of all worlds there with bringing in young talent and maybe adding a veteran who can really shore up that spot too.
Dave, I like that. Hey, but be careful about going 2 teams back, because if the Rams would have paid attention to 2 teams ago, Odell Beckham, they might not be Super Bowl champs.
That's true. Yeah, and you're right, because everyone, look, I mean, different situations, right? You start winning. That's what people want at the end of the day. So that matters.
Hey, Dave, one of the things, whether it's Jalen Ramsey or somebody like Jalen Ramsey, we have not seen Brad Holmes. We've seen him draft. We know he can draft. We have not seen him lure a big-time free agent to Detroit yet. They haven't had to, but do you anticipate he will have a big splash at some point this free agency, or more methodical approach?
Yeah, I think it's probably another DJ Chark type player. Maybe it's a defensive tackle because they do need that, or maybe it's a linebacker. I don't know that it's going to be you're signing a guy for a 5-year, $80 million contract. I don't think that's how the Lions want to build, and I think that's the right approach, frankly. I think with all the young talent that they have in the pipeline right now, and with all the the capital that they have to continue to improve going forward, in the way that Brad has drafted, frankly, I sort of, if I'm running the team, I like my chances, with the plan that I have in place. So I do think you need to supplement, and you do need to add some talent at key spots. But again, I would be careful about overspending, because you don't have to look too far into the future to know that you got big contracts coming up for Amon-Ra St. Brown and Penei Sewell eventually, and maybe even Jonah Jackson, guys like that your own guys that you've developed that you want to keep around.
And Dave, that leads me exactly to where I want to go next. If you look at the 8 teams that played last weekend in the divisional round, Jags, rookie quarterback, Mahomes agreed to a deal, $30 million, but it really kicks in next year. Giants, rookie quarterback, Eagles, rookie quarterback contract, Bengals, rookie quarterback contract, Bills, rookie quarterback contract, Allen's contract kicks in next year. Cowboys paid Dak, but the 49ers, rookie quarterback contract. 7 of the 8 teams last week in the divisional round are playing on contracts, somewhat of a rookie contract realm. Does it behoove the Detroit Lions to really make Jared Goff your quarterback and not move on with him after this year? I mean, don't you have to take somebody this year and really build it like that?
Well, and that's the other contract, obviously, that's coming due if you believe in him. And look, I think that's why the whole quarterback discussion is a little more complicated than just saying, Jared Goff's our guy. He played really well this year. We think he's turned a corner, because there is so much benefit to having a young guy on a rookie contract, and if you have that guy for 5 years, the way you can build that roster. Look, if I'm the Lions, I think that's just a discussion that you have to have philosophically. Like how do you want to approach this and build this? Because when you pay Jared, if you decide you're going to pay Jared, you're probably looking at a $40 million a year type deal. Maybe more than that, because Burrow and Herbert are going to get $50 million this year. So and look, the cap is going up, and numbers, whatever. There's plenty of ways to make that math work, but there just is. The way the 49ers are built, the way the Eagles are built, what the Lions appear to be trying to do with paying all this talent around the quarterback position and making the best 53 that you can. We've seen, again, especially in the NFC, that it can work. So I don't think the Lions have to be locked into yes or no on a quarterback, but I do think that has to be a discussion point of how do we want to build this thing, what's the best approach for our organization going forward long term.
Dave, I got 2 for you here. One's a quickie, and then one's a scenario. First one is, do you think Jeff Okudah comes back?
Yeah, he's still got 1 year left on his contract, so I think he'll be back in 2023. Big question is, do they pick up that 5th-year option? I put this in my mailbag the other day, or the other week. I would, if I'm running the Lions, I don't know that I would pick that up right now. It's not significantly more than he's averaging on his rookie deal. I think it projects to be a little over $10 million, but I think he needs to, prove that on the field before you go ahead and pick that up. And frankly, just it hasn't happened so far in the first 3 seasons.
All right, here's our fun scenario. Ryan, I, and Braylon brought it up. Actually, Ryan brought it up. Chris Sims copied him.
Ryan,
Just put yourself.
No,
Put yourself. Right, here we go. Listen.
Don't even go there. He says he
don't quit
knows.
on me. Don't quit on me here. Put yourself in Tom Brady's shoes.
Not the Detroit Lions shoes. Tom Brady's shoes.
Go ahead, Ryan. You do it.
Carlos.
Go ahead.
Hey, Dave, this is their scenario.
Well, I'm just saying.
But Chris Sims copied us.
Listen to me. Listen to me. If you're Tom Brady,
right?
Not the Detroit. If you're Tom Brady, would you go to the AFC, go to Miami or Las Vegas, and play against Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, Herbert, Russell Wilson, Trevor Lawrence, Deshaun Watson, Lamar Jackson? Or would you look at the NFC and see, where can I go? And you've done everything you've done everything you could possibly do in this league except one thing. How about go win a Super Bowl with the Detroit friggin' Lions? I mean,
shock the world.
Like, from Brady's perspective, I just think it would make sense. Now, whether Brad Holmes would listen to that phone call or not, I don't know.
No.
Just pretend he'll listen to it, Dave.
I mean,
would you do it?
I mean, how about Brady and Anthony Richardson for 1 year and move off golf?
So, Braylon, I'm glad that you bring some smarts to the show.
Hey, man. That's what I'm here for.
Okay, look, if I'm Brady, first of all, I don't care who I'm playing against. I got 7 rings. I'm the best that's ever done it. So why do I care if I'm going in the AFC or NFC? I can give you but no matter who I got around.
You're coming home.
Yeah, and maybe I want to go to Las Vegas, where I'm matched up with Josh McDaniels, who I had much success with early in my career.
You already did that already.
That's number one.
You did that already.
But okay, look, just to play along, like, sure, it would be intriguing. The Lions have lots of parts, a really good offensive line, but it's not happening.
What about Lamar Jackson? He's going to be out there.
Same thing. Look, Lamar is going to cost if the Ravens, if they don't franchise him, he's going to cost $50 million a year or whatever to get him. $45 million a year. So I don't see the Lions paying that. I don't think the Lions are, currently constructed with a group that would fit Lamar best. And I think the Lions, given what they have on their roster and what they can do, look, Lamar's a better quarterback than Jared Goff, right? Tom Brady has had more success than Jared Goff, but I think the Lions are comfortable with what they have at the quarterback position.
The great Dave Birkett, thanks so much for humoring me, at least.
Keep in mind, Bailey.
Thanks so much for humoring me.
I'm going to be a party pooper, Dave.
Thanks, Dave. Hey, check out DaveFreak.com. Subscribe to the Free Press. Great content.
He's the best.
I'm a subscriber.
See?
That's great.
See, it wasn't me to say this time. Somebody.
I still don't. People just aren't getting it still. Look, Tom Brady or Jared Goff right now, and people are saying they're picking Jared Goff over him. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Mavs, you and I are going to, die on this hill. I feel like, but that's a hill I am worth dying on. That I do think Tom Brady is.
I'm getting cream from Drew and Mike. I'm getting creamed by everybody.
I don't understand. Oh, gosh. It's so fun. But that's what this season's all about, right? NFL offseason. You can dream, can't you? Hey, guys, we're going to take a break. Come right back. More NFL will go around the league. But first, a message from Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. There is a football game this weekend, by the way, 2 of them that we got to talk about. Lady Jane's. Come to Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience. 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area, many more nationwide. There is one near you where you will have a chance to register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win a down payment for your dream home up to $200,000. Lady Jane's open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports sports content, head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
Hi, I'm John from Better Rate Mortgage, and to me, family is more than blood. That's why I have the biggest family in Metro Detroit. If you're looking to buy a house or refinance and need a loan, come get treated better than family by me and our entire team here at Better Rate Mortgage. We pride ourselves on giving you better advice, better service, and a better loan experience. That's why we are Better Rate. If you're looking for a new mortgage, come get treated like family. Actually, better with Better Rate Mortgage. Visit us at mybetterrate.com or call at 248-480-4467 today.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m. We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit. But we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Matrix Home Solutions is your go-to for any home project. Looking for that new man cave? Well, Matrix has you covered. They are your basement remodel experts that also specialize in bathrooms and kitchens as well. With an A+ rating by the Better Business Bureau, why not give them a try? Call them today at 888-594-8844 or go to matrixhomesolutions.com.
Oh, it's a midway minute.
Uh-oh.
Look at that.
Apologize about that. Yeah.
Oh man, I was down there.
To me.
I was down there today. Did you see the giant slide?
Ooh.
Oh my goodness.
I definitely got to tell you about that. Look, the holidays might be over, but the midway is still going on strong. As Ryan said, get down there to check out the giant Arctic slide. Heavyweights are supposed to be going down there, so you might want to watch out for that.
Are you serious?
You got to let me know.
Need video of that.
The winter bumper cars, the indoor arcade, putt, and not to mention the food down there as well. They are serving you up burgers, pierogies, homemade chili, chicken sandwiches, mac and cheese. Not to mention they have the gluten-free and vegan options.
I thought you weren't going to mention it.
Hey, well, I had to mention it.
Not to mention.
You gotta mention it. You gotta let them know what's down there. You gotta check it out. Come on. And of course, not to mention, once again, the Woodward Sports Winter Olympics will be coming there soon. You'll get to compete with the likes of Darren McCarty, Braylon Edwards, as long as he's off the injury report.
Hey, I'm good.
Are you good?
I'm good.
All right. Adam Baydoun, Ryan Ermanni. I don't know if he's off the injured report list.
Oh man, the groin's feeling a lot better.
Feeling good.
Worked it out.
Maz, are you good? Are you cleared to play?
Clown emoji. I'll be there.
Maz will be there as well as the heavyweights and the rest of the Woodward Sports family for the Monroe Street Midway Games. Check it out at deckedoutdetroit.com for more information, and we will see you at the Midway.
Hey, what's good, guys, on beautiful Thursday? Ryan, JB, let me ask you this. JB, how old are you, JB, again? 33?
31.
Yep, 33.
Oh, that's what I thought, 33. Okay, so you're not too far off, and then Ryan, we're 4 years apart. Do you remember when we were younger, Maz, you may remember this too, they used to do the winter wonderland and slide and all that stuff inside of Cobo?
I don't remember that.
I don't know.
I don't remember that.
The Monroe Minute, like the Midway.
I thought that was the Pistons back in the day.
No, slippery. Yeah. Nah, but they used to do a slide, and they did like it was Santa, and it was inside of Cobo Hall. It was inside of. It wasn't Joe Louis, it was Cobo Hall, like one of those big convention centers, like
damn, I don't remember that.
Like Hall A or Hall B, and they used to do the huge man, like when you walk to the end of Cobo, so you pass Joe Louis' statue, right over there where the escalator used to be. It's right over there. But anyway, I thought you guys.
I'll tell you what. You know what I miss the most at this time of the year? The auto show.
The auto show. Yeah.
I mean it.
Yeah,
I think Detroit has made a grave error.
I think so too.
By pushing it to June or whatever the hell
they didn't
month
even
it's
have
in
it the
September.
last 2 years.
I know. Now Chicago is the rollout.
Yeah.
This is Chicago.
I mean,
this is
I don't like it either.
Chicago
I
nice,
thought it'd be
though.
cool, but not in the summer.
No,
People do their own thing in the
there
summer, man. People do their own things in June, July,
it's become an afterthought.
That's what we talked about it last year.
Yeah.
Part of the auto show is watching people get decked out to the nines, fur coats, shirling coats, long pea coats with suits, full-length coats, full-length suits. You watch the ladies wear their furs. You watch the ladies get all decked out. And you go to the glow lighting event and events like that. Part of it was the winter. Like the mystique and the fashion is what made the auto show so dope too. It was the fashion, it was the mystique, it was the winter fashion, if you will. Like, I'm not trying to go to the auto show and see a bunch of people in shirts and t-shirts.
And chances are, if you have it June, July, August, September, a lot of people aren't going to go. A lot of people, have plans, sports schedules to attend to.
This was the time.
Michigan is the biggest per capita number of boating licenses per capita. Yeah. So a lot of people on the weekends, they want to, use their boats and stuff. I liked it at first, but now I hate it.
I think it's something that we got talked in. I think it was one of those situations we got talked into doing, but we never really had a choice. I think it was more so the automotive industry telling them, like, look, you guys can go to June because it's, we're taking over in Chicago. We're putting it somewhere else anyway. So it was like a force out. It's kind of like you can either resign or we can fire you.
Hey, quickly, I want to get to your top 10, Braylon. We'll do that top 10 in the next segment. I just want to clean up before just in the couple of minutes we have here. 7 of the 8 teams that played last weekend have quarterbacks on a rookie deal. Now, Mahomes agreed to a deal, kicks in next year. Allen agreed to a deal, got a little bit of a raise this year, kicks in next year. Dak got paid, but I would say that the Cowboys were one of the worst teams that played last weekend.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean?
That's why Dak is mad. Not Dak, excuse me, Market Parsons.
You look at the Eagles, the way the 49ers are built. Rookie contract Trey Lance, and of course Brock Purdy. Rookie contract Jalen Hurts. Look at these the Cincinnati Bengals. Rookie contract Jamar Chase. Rookie contract Joe Burrow. These are some of the most complete teams that we have in this league. Man, isn't it worth exploring? I mean, I know they're exploring it, but legitimately going down that road of taking a rookie quarterback, even at 6, if a guy like Bryce Young falls. Colin Cowherd said yesterday, that was a great segment. I think the world of Colin Cowherd. They're like, if Bryce Young, if people get gun shy because of his weight and his size, if he slides a little bit, if you're the Lions at 6, don't you take him? I mean, you absolutely do.
You do. Like, yes, you absolutely do.
Because the bill is coming due on Amon-Ra, Penei Sewell, Ragnow. The bill is coming due.
Not to mention, we talk about a lot of the guys that, let's say, not necessarily were those guys a quarterback or those dudes a quarterback, or even if those dudes sometimes, like a lot of the good ones, they sit behind somebody. So you mean you have a chance to have Bryce Young sit behind Jared Goff for a year in this offense that had so much success last year, finishing the top 5 in terms of points a game, especially early on in the year. It's valuable for Bryce Young to have those lessons. I mean, look at Alex Smith and Patrick Mahomes. Look at how that thing played out. Andy Reid set that thing in motion for Mahomes to play after Alex Smith, and he hit the ground running, starting from the last game of the season till now. So, if it's there, you can't keep passing it up. I mean, how many times can you spit in the face of death? Like, how many times can you just keep saying, like, next year a situation. Oh, next year a situation. Next year. You got Bryce Young. You're talking about a guy that won a Heisman Trophy 2 finals ago. You're talking about a guy that won a national championship. And you're talking about a guy that Jameson Williams knows all too well. I mean, the signs are there. If he falls somehow, I don't think you can how does the saying go? I don't think you can look a gift horse in the mouth.
Yep, that's
how it goes.
That's it.
There it is right there.
Ragnow, the highest paid center, $13 million per year. But you get the sense that there's a lot of young players on this team that are going to eventually want to get paid. And if you pay your quarterback $35-40 million, your team will not be as complete around him.
Well, the way they're looking at it is Jared Goff, let's pretend they drafted him with the number 1 pick, just like they did with Matthew Stafford. They're rolling with this guy. So I guess they believe in him enough that he's going to get paid and he's going to be the guy here. Otherwise, I guess we don't know what the hell we're talking about.
But here's the thing, though. We keep saying he's going to get paid. He still has another year on his deal. Technically, correct. So if we draft Bryce Young and we just pay him what we owe him, which is what, 33 or 31.
Yeah, I mean that would be the
We don't have to pay him another contract.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, you can.
But if you don't,
you got to draft.
You gotta. If you don't draft a quarterback, you gotta pay him.
Just get a suitable backup like you've been calling for, like we all been calling for. At least get that.
Braylon's got a top 10, the most important players this weekend in the games. And did you see the line shift from this game? Kansas City, back to Cincinnati, back to Kansas City. What's going on with it? We'll talk about it all next. But first, a message from Chili Peppers Tanning.
Yes, sir. Chili Peppers Tanning, 27 locations and more on the way. 2 right here on Woodward Avenue. And if you go to Chili Peppers Tanning, you join the Pepper Club, they are going to save you $5 against any competitor on unlimited tanning. Plus, you get the best stuff there, the lotions, and the Chili Pepper girls are going to make sure you're taken care of, you don't get burned or nothing happens to your skin. You're going to look great. Plus, they have the cleanest salons in the D. The hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, the darkest tans. Your vitamin D headquarters, ChiliPeppersTanning.com.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
I'm Dr. Jason Olafson, DC, the founder of the Custom Health Centers, and we've helped thousands of people learn how easy it is to lose weight and keep it off with our customized weight loss and body contouring programs.
With Custom Health, you don't feel hungry, you eat well. My name is Simeon Timbuk, and I lost 71 pounds on the program.
Call us at 844-789-THIN or visit CustomHealthCenters.com for a free consultation and get started for as little as $5 a day.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
Centron World is an aspirational lifestyle beverage brand, premium line of sparkling energy-flavored beverages and premium bottled waters. Centron is fashionable, it's functional, and it's fun. And they also have a team with woodwardsports.com to re-energize the community. So let them drink it, love it with Centron.
All right, it is Thursday. That means Braylon's got a top 10 list for us today. How you doing, Braylon?
I'm doing good, man.
What do we got
I'm
going
getting excited, man. It's getting closer and closer to getting out to Cali, and everybody's, why is he so excited? It's a college football game, man. Bailey's playing against Alabama, Michigan, Penn State. Michigan State, I think the punter from Michigan.
Brad Robbins
is playing on the game. A couple of DBs from Michigan State will be out there, so he's been out there torching those guys. But I'm sure they're used to it, so it's okay. But I'm excited. But before I got out of here, you know I couldn't leave without doing top 10.
Got to do a top 10 list.
So what I decided was we're down to the conference championship rounds. Who are the most important players in each game for each team?
Okay.
Like, not on both sides of the ball, because I could have done that, but just what is the player who has the most responsibility in terms of for that team to win? Got to thinking, came up with 4 guys.
Okay.
Fletch, give me the first guy on the list right here.
Give me a team. I'll throw up the team.
Here we go. Talking about the 49ers.
Look at those 49ers.
There it is. It's Trent Williams. It is Trent Williams, the big guy up front. 10 Pro Bowls in a row. The last 3 seasons have all been all-pro attempts by this man. The man is big. He's the best lineman in the NFL. He can move side to side, left tackle. But it's going to be important for him. You know why he's the most important player in the game? It's not Christian McCaffrey. It's not Debo. It's not Greenlaw. It's not Fred Warner. And it's not Brock Purdy. Who has to protect Brock Purdy from the best defensive line statistically in the NFL?
Trent Williams.
Who has to protect Brock Purdy from 4 guys who all have gone over double-digit sacks?
Trent Williams.
Trent Williams going to get a lot of different looks. They're going to put a lot of different guys over. They'll line Micah Parsons. He dealt with him too. They'll line up your boy, you just talked about him, Brandon Graham. They'll line him up. They'll line up Robert Quinn. They'll line up Jordan Davis. They'll do a lot of mixes and a lot of things to try to get to Brock Purdy. And Trent Williams is going to have to be the dude that's in the trenches getting after the Philadelphia Eagles. But so he is the most important player to me on the 49ers this game.
Is that the guy that Micah Parsons threw down like a rag doll?
That is not the guy who threw down like a rag doll.
Just checking.
No one has ever thrown Trent Williams down like that.
Last week he threw someone down like a rag doll.
It was not Trent Williams.
All right.
It definitely was not Trent
Just
Williams. Who they play, by the way? They play the Philadelphia Eagles. Give me the Philadelphia Eagles. Oh! I'm going with the big uglies right now.
This guy.
He's playing on one leg.
I'm giving the big uglies some,
He's got
I'm giving
one
them some
leg.
love. He's on one leg, but you know he's going to be going against that defense for the 49ers. That line is real, and you know who's on the other side. Mr. Nick Bosa should be Defensive Player of the Year. 19 sacks, 2 years in a row. He's in the last 2 years, I think he's 34 sacks. That's what Nick Bosa's done. He's going to have to go man to man with that guy. That guy's a house. That guy's a house, but Lane Johnson is a house too. Lane Johnson will have to get in those trenches with Nick Bosa, because if he can stay on Nick Bosa, then Jalen Hurts can do some damage. Jalen Hurts can do some things, depends on how the quarterback spy. But Lane Johnson is the big guy for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Love it.
Let's go to the AFC. You have the Kansas City Chiefs playing against the Cincinnati Bengals. You would think Mahomes, you think Burrow. Yeah, that's cool. I could have done them, but those are the easy ones. Give me the Bengals. Talk about a banged up ankle. Patrick Mahomes, high ankle sprain. Patrick Mahomes likes to get out of the pocket, do a lot of that wizardry stuff that he does. He has to be mobile to do that, which means he has to get out of the pocket, which means somebody has to get a hat on Trey Hendrickson, number 91. Trey Hendrickson has to be unblockable in this game. If they want to really have a chance, if they want to really put pressure, Patrick Mahomes' ankle is messed up. So the more pressure you put on him, the more pressure he has on the ankle, the more and more you'll start to see him limp as the game goes on. You don't want to hurt him. You don't want to be dirty. But Trey Hendrickson has to get to Patrick Mahomes. And by him not being himself, I think Trey Hendrickson can get to Patrick Mahomes a lot more often than he usually does. Trey Hendrickson, I think, is the most important person for the Cincinnati Bengals, not named Joe Burrow.
Can I guess your Kansas City guy?
Yes, you can.
All right.
It's between two people.
It's
Frank
only
Clark.
one.
Put him on the board, Casey! Frank Clark! Man's on the board! Man's on the board!
Yes! Way to go, man!
That's a beast.
That's a hell of a job by Maz, because I actually was going to go with Chris Jones initially, but I decided Joe Burrow doesn't move up in the pocket. Joe Burrow doesn't try to take off in the middle. If ever he scrambles, it's always to the side. Frank Clark has to be the Frank Clark that they paid in 2019 from the Seattle Seahawks. You saw what he did in that Super Bowl. They won the Super Bowl. Frank Clark was all over the place. They need that Frank Clark back, and he showed it a little bit last week against the Bills. Not against the Bills, against the Jaguars. Frank Clark has to have a game. He's got to get to Joe Burrow, because Joe Burrow is Joe Cool. He's Joe Cool. Somebody has to get Joe off that coolness.
Where did he go to school?
You said what?
Where did he go to school again?
Who? Frank Clark. Oh man, you know he's a Michigan guy. You know he's a Michigan guy. Got to give my Michigan guy some love. But Joe Cool is so cool. He never is off the square. He's always even kill. Somebody has to get him off even kill, because if they don't, Cincinnati, I'm being honest, if they can't get him off his square, Kansas City doesn't have a chance to beat the Cincinnati Bengals.
By the way, how great is that Kansas City logo?
It's a great logo.
Look at that logo.
It is. I think all of these teams have classic logos. I mean, the 49ers uniform, obviously.
Gorgeous.
I think the Bengals uniforms are
My wife hates the Bengals
Really?
uniform. I'm telling her, this, I love them.
It's classic.
Oh, side note. Give your man Fletch some love for
Yeah.
those graphics
Great
that
job,
he put
Fletch.
together this morning. Shout out to my man Fletch in there. Got the graphics together. Those look really good. It actually seems like this is more work than just listing 10 names. So
Right, I
shout
love
out
it. This is really
to my
good.
man
This
Fletch.
is very good, Fletch.
But these are the
Very
people
good.
I think this game is, for as much, we talk about big offenses, big wide receivers, quarterbacks making a ton of money. We talk about the numbers, the gaudy stats. I think this game is going to be one in the trenches. Like, this is what happens year round. Once you get into the conference championship rounds, once you get into the Super Bowls, then you start to see the better defenses win. Then you start to see the better offensive line win. So it's going to be a game won in the trenches. And the players that I put up there, I mean, you talk about the Philadelphia Eagles, they got 4 guys with 10 or more sacks. Like, that's crazy. Montez Sweat, Robert Quinn on that team, Brandon Graham, Jordan Davis. So this is going to be a fun round of football, man. We're in for a treat.
I hope so, because I'll be honest with you. I think these NFL playoffs have been less than.
Yeah,
they
have not been great.
I have not been thrilled at all with these playoffs. I mean, honestly, the only game that I think I really was into was the Giants and Vikings. That was really the only game because the
Niners Cowboys was good, but the Cowboys just couldn't get out of their own way.
Chargers Jacksonville.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
It was a tale of two halves.
Yeah, that was a tale of two halves. But again,
it was like a meltdown.
Yeah, it was a total meltdown.
This weekend should be perfect. It really should. These are the 4 best teams in the NFL, and they're playing.
And they have been the 4 best teams throughout the season, consistently throughout the season. So I think that's a really great point, Maz.
Damn. That's an excellent point.
Yeah.
That's an excellent point. When you look, that's a very good point by you. When you look at the duration of the season, the Kansas City Chiefs are a team that all year long, we knew they were 1 or 2.
Yep.
We knew they were 1 or 2. When you look at the Cincinnati Bengals, once they got to the second game minus Jamar Chase, you're like, damn, they're that good without Jamar Chase. You kind of start knowing, but you knew week 9. And then the Eagles, obviously, and then the 49ers. I mean, 49ers won 12 straight.
Eagles might have won that many if Hurts didn't get hurt.
This is true. Eagles might only lost 1 this season. They might be 16-1.
Yep.
You know, and I think the 49ers have won 12 straight.
Yeah, this is a great weekend.
Last time the 49ers won 12 straight, they won a Super Bowl.
Yeah. They sure did. They beat the Dolphins.
Guys, more football. Braylon, are you here for one more segment, or you're out now?
I'm out.
You are out. Catching a flight to California, Los Angeles, California, to check out the NFLPA All-Star Classic. His brother Bally is playing in the game. It'll be aired on Saturday live on the NFL Network. Great. Best of luck to Bally, my friend. Safe travels. We'll see you on Monday, okay?
No, I see you guys tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Pick segment.
Absolutely.
I'm not missing the pick segment. I'll be here for 2 segments tomorrow. Come on, man. You know what time it is. You know what time it is.
Boom. You know what time it is. All right,
man.
Bray. Good stuff. We'll see you. Let me give you a message about Guardian Alarm, if I could. Guardian Alarm, they're your local security experts. Right now is the perfect time to make sure that you have peace of mind and home security from Guardian Alarm, the most trusted name in home and business security. With 24/7 monitoring, you can have a peace of mind knowing you are being backed by the best. Call this number right here, 1-800-STAY-OUT. That number again, 1-800-STAY-OUT. Call them today. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
The Sports Marketing Agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zuniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Hey, look where I'm at. Hey, it's wintertime in Detroit. It's always better with comfort foods from Big Boys. Start you off with the classic meatloaf or Cajun chicken Alfredo. And for breakfast, you got the stuffed potato pancakes and those omelets. You got to love those. The Lumberjack, the Santa Fe Garden, and the Blockbuster. Try them all at Big Boy.
WoodwardSports.com. Do not adjust your phones, tablets, television screens. That is Tom Mazawey up on the desk. Now, Maz, do you miss being on the desk? You you started here. You were one of the originals. You were the original.
I am an original. It's Stick, Adam, and me. 3 originals.
Stick, Adam, and you, and Darren McCarty.
Oh, yeah, Mac was here. You're right.
You know.
My bad. Me and Mac used to do a show together right here.
That's right.
The Bottom Line.
Look, no, that was The Hook.
Oh, yeah, The Hook. And Pilar.
Yeah, we love it.
Yep. So, yeah, I kind of like sitting up here, but I kind of like sitting in my chair in the back there.
Right.
I know
nobody's bothering you back there.
Yeah, no one's bothering me. Plus, I can be on my phone more.
Right.
That's what I really like. Because I like talking to to the peeps.
Really engaging in the chat.
And
in
if you do it here, then it looks like
chat.
you're not really paying attention.
That's exactly right. Now, a lot of people will see me on my phone sometimes looking at all these papers. If you see the desk, trying to figure out what we're going to do next is a little bit of a driver to the show.
Exactly.
I'm only half paying attention to what you guys are saying
I
half
know
the
that.
time and trying to figure out what we're going to talk about next. But it's all good. I do want to look at this game, Mass, because the line movement has been
up and down.
Really, I haven't seen anything like this in a long time. So it opened up with the Chiefs minus 2.5. Everybody took the Bengals. Everybody then looked at Patrick Mahomes' ankle sprain and was like, boy, all this money went on the Bengals. The Bengals got up to 2.5. And now everybody watches Patrick Mahomes walk off a podium, and the money swings back to the Chiefs. What do you make of that?
That's you gamblers. That's gamblers out there. They're playing both ends of the game here. You can't really lose if you took both with 2.5.
Right.
You're going to play the middle, and you could hit both bets.
You could, a one-point game.
Bets. I just think that the Bengals are playing to win this game. I think they're the champs from the AFC. I really believe they should have won the Super Bowl last year. We could watch that game over and over again. It was a really fun game to watch. But they had the Rams on the rope, should have beat them. And they've been terrific this year, and they're only getting better. I mean, Joe Burrow is playing lights out. He's playing with he's so cocky.
It's a confidence.
He's got a confidence. Yeah. You see that one video of him, and he's in
spins
Buffalo,
around.
The snow's coming down, and he throws it, and he just keeps going around. And he is Joe Cool.
That's a quarterback that looks like he knew he was going to win that football game. Here's Joe Burrow talking about how much confidence he has in the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, I have so much faith in what we do here as an entire, that's what I love about this place is it's not, the coaches have their process, we have our process, and, we just do what they say. It's a collaborative effort. We're always talking and thinking about new ways we can attack a defense, get better throughout the week of practice, add a route here, add a play here. And that's why I think we're so good is because, we have really great football minds up there that know football, no game plans, and no defense.
Want to courtesy the NFL Twitter account for that sound regarding Joe Burrow. He has very little emotion out there. I've compared him to Tom Brady in terms of his stone-cold persona out on the field.
Brady has emotion.
But Brady is emotional out there. I mean, Brady will get in your face. He'll slam the tablets. He'll do his let's effing go. He will show lots of emotion out there. Burrow doesn't do that. So, he's just one of those really rare guys that just is so methodical about how he goes out there and nothing affects him.
Did you see, I forgot who tweeted it out. Paige, the golfer, Paige Spiranak. Well, she tweeted out.
It's a she?
She, yeah.
I don't know the women's circuit.
You never saw Paige Spiranak?
Don't know the women's circuit.
Well,
sorry.
You would love her if you saw her.
I'm sure I would.
Anyway, she tweeted out, Joe Cool is stealing your girlfriend. And she went into a whole in-depth story of how every woman that has never paid attention to football is all of a sudden paying attention to football. And this kid, Joe Cool, Joe Burrow. I know my daughters and my wife and any woman that I know, Joe Burrow's playing. Hey, Joe Burrow's playing today. I'm going to tune in and watch this guy. He is winning hearts across America. He is Joe Namath.
Yeah.
He is Joe Namath.
It's funny because everybody, since Patrick Mahomes has come in the league, I think he's been the best quarterback, and ever since he's been in there, everybody has really been trying to supplant him as, now it's Josh Allen's league, now it's Joe Burrow's league, and everybody's trying to put this guy or that guy over Mahomes, but yet and still, it is Patrick Mahomes that, to me, is by far the number one quarterback in this league. He's the number one quarterback playing this weekend. Now, I don't know about the ankle. I don't know. It did not look good last week.
I think you do know. I think there's no way he could be. He's probably 70% at best.
And here's what Patrick Mahomes says about playing on Sunday.
How's the ankle?
It's doing good. I've had a few days of treatment, a few days of rehab. Excited to get on the practice field and kind of test it out and see where I'm at, but it's feeling good so far.
You expressed that you'd start treatment the night after the game. Can you just kind of bring us through what that night was and then these last few days, what you've been doing?
Yeah, I was able to do some extra testing just to make sure everything was good, not after the game, and then get a few things done to help the treatment kind of start off. And then the next few days has just kind of been, all-day thing where you're just doing either treatment or rehab or watching film. And I had to take Brittany a few places with me so I can be around the kids a little bit. But it's a full-day thing where you're trying to make sure that you're obviously prepared for the Bengals and a great football team, mentally and physically.
All right, so that is Patrick Mahomes, and again, courtesy the NFL Twitter account for that audio on Patrick Mahomes. But at the same time, Maz, is 70% enough to get it done? Part of what makes the Kansas City Chiefs offense roll as much as it does, and we saw it stifled when he got hurt, is that mobility, the ability of Patrick Mahomes to keep plays alive. We always talk about how is Travis Kelce so wide open? And I think one of the reasons why is because your quarterback is so elusive back there and keeps these plays alive. You don't have Kelce running these traditional routes. He'll run the traditional route, and then he and Mahomes have such a rapport together that he just knows where to go. That's how he's so wide open. Yeah. Maybe it doesn't have anything to do with the offensive scheme. It has everything to do with his rapport with the quarterback.
Well, it's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Let's face it. First ballot Hall of Famer tight end. One of the best 3 tight ends to ever suited up, and that is Travis Kelce. No question about it. The more I watch him, the more I'm just enamored with the guy. He is going to be the number 1 target, obviously. If they can't run the ball, Kansas City, I think they're going to be in big trouble. And they call it Arrowhead. Yeah. Bengals call it Burrowhead.
He's never lost to the Kansas City Chiefs. Yet. Will this be a first? We will find out. But
when are you ever going to see the Chiefs as an underdog? And they're not underdog right now. They might be by Sunday.
-1 it is right now.
Yeah,
Back up to
Kansas City is favored now. KC is 1-point favorite.
It'll probably just be a pick-em.
It could be a pick-em.
Game time.
When do you ever get the Chiefs at home in a pick-em?
Right. You mentioned in the last segment, Maz, that this is the 4 best teams in football, and it is. They're consistently the 4 best teams in football. It is, I don't know, rare. Whatever. I think it's pretty rare that you have absolutely the 4 best teams in football playing. Maybe it's not.
Look how many games. 17 games.
Yeah.
And then you got extra playoff games.
Yeah.
And it still came out to these 4.
Let me ask you this question, though. You have one drive to win a Super Bowl, one drive to win an NFC championship, an AFC championship. Who are you picking? Who would be your quarterback that you would select to lead you on that drive?
Out of these 4?
Yeah. Out of anybody in the league.
Well, I got to take Brady then.
Brady?
Yeah, I would take Brady.
Over Burrow, over Mahomes?
Yes. If all is even and everyone is healthy, Brady. These final 4, if everyone is healthy, Mahomes. Burrow next. So Brady, Mahomes, Burrow. Even at this age, and I'm not a fan of Tom Brady. I've never been. I've hated him. Okay? But he's the best. Hands down. How do you not go with him?
Well, you go with Mahomes for me.
That's fine.
I would go with Mahomes. Then I go with Burrow. And then I might go with Brady. Look, he had a terrible year. Not a terrible year. He was the 3rd highest passer this year.
No offensive line, no running game.
I know.
And receivers in and out. Come on, they had nobody.
They had a terrible team.
He didn't even have his guy from what's the little guy? Scotty Miller. He hardly even had him this year.
We'll see. We'll see what happens there. All right, I want to take a break, Maz. When we come back, very exciting news, I think, happened at Ford Field today.
How'd you pick my brain? You picked my brain.
We've been working together long enough by now.
I want to talk about this.
Good. I want to talk about it with you. But first, a message from Custom Health Centers. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you. Got on the scale this morning, down 16.4 pounds.
That's your best.
From when I started, my personal best. Haven't been this low since 2019. believe it or not. Custom Health Centers has helped me along. They take the willpower out of weight loss. Whether it's 20 pounds, whether it's 120 pounds, Custom Health Centers will provide the approach that helps you, a customized approach to help you in your weight loss goals. Call them today, 844-789-THIN, 844-789-THIN.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Downtown Detroit is all decked out this season with the return of the Cadillac Lodge and the Monroe Street Midway. The Midway's got the giant slide, the winter bumper cars, and of course that indoor arcade. Plus, you can always grab a drink at the Lodge before or after any Wings or Pistons home game. You gotta get down there, you gotta check it out. Shop, eat, and play downtown anytime with Decked Out Detroit, and check them out at deckedoutdetroit.com.
All right, Tom Mazawey, we are very excited about this news. The USFL, the United States Football League, announced today that Ford Field will be a hub for the USFL Panthers. How about that? The Michigan Panthers and the Philadelphia Stars.
Yep.
Look at that.
Isn't that great?
Isn't that incredible
It
news?
is.
I think it's pretty darn cool. Kurt Menefee was out there. Daryl Moose Johnson was out there today at Ford Field. The vice president or the president and CEO of Fox Sports was out there today with this announcement. Spring football coming back to Detroit. Maz, I think this is a really fun thing. I'm glad. Memphis, Tennessee, Birmingham, Alabama, Canton, Ohio, and Detroit, Michigan. Of course, all the games were played in Birmingham, Alabama last year. And slowly but surely they are branching out into these specific cities.
I'm loving it. And they will add teams eventually. And I love football all year round. Sure, I'm not going to watch every single game. Back in the day I did. In 1982, 83, 84, it was my favorite league. It was like reliving the AFL infiltrating the NFL back in the 60s. It just was a phenomenal league. This league is not that, but they have taken the history of it and they have gone forward with it. And I think it's awesome. Matter of fact, here's a little tidbit for you. The first USFL championship game in 82 was played by the Michigan Panthers and the Philadelphia Stars.
How about that?
And here they are playing at Ford Field. Tickets are going to be very affordable.
$25 for general admission seats. Everything's just general admission. $25. You want to talk about taking a family of four, family of five, whatever the case may be, to watch this game. I think it's just brilliant.
I think tickets will be less than that on the secondary market.
Well, maybe even so. Yeah. But I mean, you have the ability to affordably go see professional football.
Yes.
And no, it's not the NFL, but it's still guys who want to play. Now, one of the things this league has to do in year two, I think, as opposed to year one, is you need to continue getting quarterback play.
Yeah.
If you can get quarterback play, you have the ability to sustain yourself as a league moving forward, because people have an eye for what they expect to see. They watch big-time college football, Alabama, Michigan, Georgia, what have you, USC. They watch the NFL. They have a level of expectation when it comes to, a third down and 3 with a simple 3-yard out. They want to see you catch the football, make the throw. That level has to, I think, improve, but this is only good things. It's great. I think it's great that there are more leagues. The USFL, I know the XFL is starting as well.
Yep.
I think this is really good for a lot of people who want to keep playing football and at least have a dream. The Turpin,
Kevontae Turpin
for the Dallas Cowboys.
One of the best in the biz.
USFL had an opportunity to play in the USFL last year, showed out, and got signed by the Dallas Cowboys. That's how that league gets sustained, man. I mean, the more young talent you see, and you never know what can happen. You never know what can happen. I mean, right now, you have to be a third-year player to come out to the NFL draft. Maybe
that's going to change.
Maybe the USFL one day down the road says, you want to come out now, get a year of professional football like they do in Europe in basketball, or in the NBA. You want to come play in our league for a year, get you ready for the NFL draft? Here you go. So I think this is a really great thing.
I'm wondering how it's going to work, college football versus these secondary leagues, USFL, XFL, because college football has the money now to pay players. Mm-hmm. How will it affect the secondary market? Like before NIL money, I bet you college football would have suffered because of this, because players would have come over, hey, I don't want to play in college anymore. I want to go make a few dollars. I'm going to go play in the USFL or XFL. Now maybe then they're going to not go. Maybe they're going to stay, but we're talking about the big names will probably stay. I don't know how it would affect. I wish there could be more money involved with these secondary leagues. The Arena League used to be a great league. Kurt Warner came out of that league. Now he's in the NFL Hall of Fame. I love these leagues. I love it for these players that you don't get a chance. Herschel Walker, the first underclassman to play professional football. NFL said, we can't have you as a junior. USFL said, okay, we'll take you. Donald Trump rolled out the money, and he came on over and made the Generals a top team. They didn't win a championship, but they got my money. I was a season ticket holder, and it was great to see him, Doug Flutie, Brian Sipe, all these great old players. Maurice Carthon, Sean Landetta, all won Super Bowls with the Giants after that. So, I wish it the best, and I will be there to support it.
It is a 10-week USFL regular season beginning on April 15th, and both Michigan and Philadelphia will open up on the road before coming to Ford Field on April 30th in the first of several weekends of professional football games in downtown Detroit. You can pre-register for tickets in Detroit via Ticketmaster. Make a $25 deposit and lock in priority access. It's going to be a really fun thing. So
was there ever a better logo than the Michigan Panthers helmet?
People love it, right?
Yeah.
People love it. There's no doubt about it. 40 years, nearly 40 years since the USFL in 1983, as you mentioned. I'm rooting for the league. I hope it succeeds because I think it's something that is needed. We talk so much, Maz, too, about these other sports, Bally sports.
Oh, man.
Look. Bally Sports
They're on the ropes.
Bought these local TV networks, the old Fox Sports, Detroit Fox Sports, Illinois Fox Sports, Chicago Fox Sports, New York, all this other stuff. So Sinclair Broadcasting Group bought Bally Sports and other regional networks, reportedly headed for bankruptcy and the biggest financial disaster in sports media history. I'm going to read that quote for you again. The biggest financial disaster in sports media history. This is a really big deal. And the reason this is a really big deal, and the reason why you see, to me, USFL, XFL popping up is because people only care about football. People only care about football. Look here in Detroit. And we have this ability that I think if you're on traditional television or if you're on traditional radio, there's those meters that everybody's rated by. They're the personal people meters, the PPMs, or 6 people wear a personal people meter, and if one's watching you, it accounts for so many people. The way the rating system is done is so archaic, I can't even tell you. On this medium, on this platform, streaming, whether you're on YouTube, whether you're a website, whether you are on Netflix or Hulu or anything, people know exactly how many people are listening to you and watching you, down to the person. Every single one of you that are watching right now, we know.
That's how we know how many people are watching, when radio really does have no idea.
They have no idea.
They have no idea how many people are listening at a time. Like when the commercial comes on, how many people are staying on that station?
Right. They have no idea. So what I'm trying to tell you is this. When we talk about football, Maz, you need a water? Yeah, drink some water. Go get some water. Okay, very good. When we talk about football, our numbers are higher than at any point, like by far, anything else we talk about. And not only that, when we talk about football, if we don't talk about football,
God forbid,
our audience is in the tank. We might lose more than half of our audience on any given minute where we don't talk about football. And it's just kind of where we are as, I think, local Detroiters, the state of Michigan, and really the country. Look at the NBA ratings. Look at...
I don't watch. I'm a sports junkie. I don't watch it. I'm not watching hockey.
And again...
I'm not.
And again, but listen, again, think about what you're saying. You don't watch, you're a sports fan who doesn't watch the NBA, and it hasn't always been like this. You really don't watch a lot of hockey either.
No.
We are glued to football. You really don't watch a lot of baseball because our teams have been so bad.
I watched a replay of the NFL game on NFL Network, or I watched something on my DVR. I'll look at the Pistons. I'll look at the Red Wings real quick. Last night, I caught the last minute of Golden State Memphis, and it took like 15 minutes.
But it's that reason that I'm reading for you this story right now, that Bally Sports is nearing bankruptcy, and these local deals with sports leagues could be impacted. That's not because a bunch of people are watching. They're not nearing bankruptcy because they've got hordes of sports fans watching the NBA or the NHL or even Major League Baseball, to be honest with you, because the kids, and I reference the kids a lot, the kids ain't watching baseball. And what is Bally Sports regional networks?
They're playing baseball.
They're playing baseball. They're playing basketball. They're playing hockey.
Yeah.
3 sports that nobody's watching anymore. And of course, it has their niche fans.
Yeah.
And if your team is really good, you'll get some eyeballs on it.
The Tigers used to be appointment viewing.
They
were a great broadcast. You know, it was really fun to listen to and watch. What a great Tiger team they had. Mm-hmm. And it's gone now. And you might not get that back for quite a long time. And it's just, I have the MLB package because I like watching all the other games. I'll watch the Yankees mostly, but I'll throw on I'll watch the Dodgers are on national TV. I don't even need to watch them. They're everywhere. But like you said, you want to watch the Padres, watch them celebrate and all that. I like the Rays. I watch the Rays. I ain't watching the Tigers. I'm just not. Unless I'm going to the game, I hardly watch them. I'm just flipping them on. If they're getting killed, I put on another game.
Let me just read this for you real quickly. According to Bloomberg, the largest owner of local sports networks is heading towards a massive $8.6 billion debt restructuring.
Jeez.
And betting on a new direct-to-consumer streaming service. Diamond Sports bought the regional networks just a few years ago in 2019, only to see cable subscriptions plummet afterwards. Despite carrying games from MLB, NBA, NHL, their financial struggles have reached a breaking point. I mean, nobody is watching these sports anymore. Nobody. And for that...
Is it because there's too much on now, believe it or not?
Absolutely.
I mean, I lost
part of it.
College basketball... I'm sorry. I am not watching it unless it's the best game ever and Dickie Vitale is there and, you know, hey, baby. I'm not watching it unless it's March Madness.
That's part of it. But, again, you know, part of being a sports fan for a team is, A, if they're good, B, if you got a couple of superstars players, and C, maybe even A, B, and C, it's really going down to the game and becoming engrossed in those things. Well, you've got all these new buildings. I mean, I went to a Red Wings game the other night. I didn't even pay for the ticket. I spent $150, and I just went on myself. You know what I mean? People can't afford to go to these new buildings.
No.
You go to a Pistons game, you can maybe get a $20 ticket, maybe a $30 ticket, but you're sitting way up high. Nobody wants to sit up high.
Not for basketball.
No, not for basketball. You're going to sit way up high, and then you're going to pay $40, $50 to park. You're going to pay $8 hot dog. You know what I mean? People can't afford to go to these games anymore, and I think with COVID, too, we have learned to live without more than ever before. And, you know, I think
you might be right there.
I think it rubs a lot of people the wrong way. We kind of learned to live without those sports.
Isn't that something?
We learned to live without
it that way.
We
Really.
learned to live without them. They were gone. You know what never left? The NFL. The NFL never left. And what's king now?
Well,
always has been the NFL.
By far.
We learned to live without those sports. And we've continued to stay that way. Got to take a break. Come right back to close it out. But first, a message from Fairway Packing Company. Come to Fairway Packing. It is an incredible place to be. You want to elevate your dinner? Choose Fairway Packing Company. Family owned and operated since 1956. And now you can visit their steak shop in Grosse Pointe Woods on Mack Avenue. You can order online as well. Maybe you want a burrata blend burger. How about an award-winning Chop House steak? Or you can impress your friends or your loved ones with a dry-aged Wagyu tomahawk steak. Fairway Packing Company. Cut, sourced, aged, packed to perfection. Love that place.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
What's a winter wonderland if you can't shop, eat, and play? Lucky for you, you can do it all at the Downtown Detroit Markets, Cadillac Lodge, and the new winter version of the Monroe Street Midway, all located just across the street from Campus Martius Park. Find the fun at deckedoutdetroit.com.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991. Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Be sure to check with Swiss Insurance this week for your commercial insurance review. Many businesses choose a January 1st effective date, and Swiss can help make sure you have the proper coverage. Give Mark an email right now at mark@swissins.com. Give Mark a shot. Guarantee you, he won't disappoint.
There are 17 games a year instead of 82. The games matter way more. It's just math. That's what Ethan Brown says. But you tell that to everybody that attended 200-plus straight Pistons games and sold that building out when they went to 6 straight Eastern Conference Finals. What about a sold-out crowd at Comerica Park every night and the ratings just flying off the shelf? I mean, Tiger, when we worked at 105.1, it was a radio station, a sports station back in Detroit, we were fighting with 97.1 at the time to get that Tigers deal because that Tigers radio contract meant everything here locally. If you had that Tigers rights broadcast, that was the numero uno thing that you could possibly have. We didn't get that contract. There was some sneaky business behind the scenes, and we didn't get that contract. We ultimately dissolved and changed ownership and flipped formats. So yeah, there's a lot there. I mean, it's just not as easy as there's 82 games.
I know. There are way too many games in baseball. Way too many. 162 is way too much. It's got to go down to 150 at the most. I would even do less than that, but I know it's never going to happen because the owners want to get paid. Basketball, 82 games, too much. 60 games.
Well, they don't even play more. Did you see the kid that flew from Argentina to see Jimmy Butler play?
And he missed it.
And Jimmy Butler was a load management night.
He made it up to the kid,
Yeah,
though.
he did make it up to the kid, so good for him.
And
but still
hockey,
didn't get to see him play.
Hockey, 82 games.
Yeah,
Make
right.
it 60.
That's
I'm
right.
sorry, it's just too many. It's garbage. I don't want to see it. I want to see the playoffs. You want to put everyone in the damn playoffs like they do in hockey? I'll see it, but I don't want to wait till freaking June to see it.
No doubt.
Cut the season.
Quickly, last note, Tyrone Wheatley coming home to be the new head coach of the Wayne State Warriors. Tyrone Wheatley, of course, Dearborn Heights Robichaud High School, and, of course, University of Michigan. Mick McCabe had him as the #1 Michigan athlete in the last 50 plus years.
Wow.
His high school career, the number one high school athlete of all time in the state of Michigan, well, at least in 50 years. So it's good. Paul Winters, 19 years at Wayne State, was dismissed back in December. I love Paul Winters, big fan of his. Program was a little bit stagnant, and they made a change, and Tyrone Wheatley gets a job. Good for him. Running backs coach in Denver for the Broncos.
How about that, man?
Yeah.
What do you think of the hire?
I think it's great.
You think it's a name hire, or do you think he's going to be a very good football coach?
Well, he's a former head coach from 19 to 21 that the name escapes me now, but he's got coaching experience, and I think it's a really good hire.
We're working on having him on the show. We'd love to talk to him about it. He was a giant.
Absolutely. You know, when I just a quick note, my freshman year I got moved up to varsity in high school.
Of course.
And there were some numbers left. Number 6. I chose number 6 because I wanted to be like Tyrone Wheatley.
Look at you.
How about that?
That's good.
Love Tyrone Wheatley. Maz, great effort out of you today. Fletch, JB, thanks so much. We appreciate it. Great job all day by you guys. Braylon, love you, buddy. Safe travels to L.A. His brother is playing in the NFL PA All-Star Game. Happens on Saturday in Pasadena.
Check it
at
out.
the
NFL
Rose
Network.
Bowl. It's on the NFL Network. Yeah, check it out. Bailey is playing in that game. We are rooting hard for him. He has had a hell of a journey and deserves everything he's getting now. So we love Bailey, we love Braylon, and we will see you tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.